Okay, so this is not usually how I stream, so I need to know if everybody can see me or no. I usually go directly through my program that I use. And Facebook Live is something. All right, Pam is there. Great, great. Okay. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate it. And can you see the first slide here? Okay, I'm going to assume that Pam or whoever else was there could see the slide, and I will just start talking and then you guys can let me know. Okay, so back to me. Hello, everybody. So my name is Jennifer Pratt, and I am the owner of Wag the Dog and Company, and I have been going live for the past year on a regular basis. But prior to that, I was doing a lot of remote training via Zoom. One of the reasons for that is because I am a certified separation anxiety trainer and an SA Pro, so all of that work is done remotely. So I was used to using Zoom and I was used to using cameras, but what I wasn't used to was going live out to the masses like I am with you guys now. So when when the pandemic hit, right away I was like, okay, everybody's going to be doing everything online, so I better up my game so that I can rise up, be a little bit different, and have, I guess, a little bit more zing is what I was hoping for. So what I'm curious about before I get started with the presentation is how many people here are going live themselves. Let's say beyond what you've, like if going live to this virtual conference was the first time you did it, had you done it before? I would love to hear that. I know it was a brand new thing for me, and I didn't even know what it was when I first got started. There's always that fun delay. Pam, it was your first time going live. Excellent. Okay, and what I'm going to try, Dawn has never gone. Good, good, okay. Because I'm not used to using Facebook Live, I'm going to try and close one thing on my computer so it does not overheat. If you lose me, I'll promise I'll be right back. Just 1 second. Okay. I'm back. Yeah? Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm not used to using Facebook Live Producer. I'm used to using the program that I use, Ecamm. But since I'm not an admin, I can't go directly live to this page. So it's not a very ringing endorsement for going live and me doing a presentation for you guys if I'm screwing it all up. So I apologize. This is part of what live is. Part of it is going live and screwing up and just going with the flow. So I'm glad that everybody can see and hear me now again. I will officially start the presentation then. Okay. All right, so why and how to go live with your message. I will be stopping at at each point here that we're going to be going through to stop and ask questions. So here's what we're going to cover. We are going to be covering the benefits of going live, different content levels, engagement, how to get it, and what it means when you get it, gear, and practicing. Okay, so we're going to start out with the benefits. I'm not sure if how many of you guys have heard of the know, like, trust pyramid or funnel, but it is all about getting out there to your potential clients and making them what we call quote unquote warm, so that they're more likely to invest with you. So it helps to get you out there so people know who you are and get to know you, which hopefully means that you're going to attract people that that are your ideal customers, that are like you because they've already met and watched you. It helps to grow your teaching and coaching skills. Learning how, I mean, I had already been doing one-on-one sessions with clients. And obviously a lot of that is you're prepared and you've got the education and skills to go in and to help them. But you are always going a little bit by the cuff of it because you never know what you're going to come across when you're there. Doing that live in front of potential large audience is a little bit scary. So it does help you to grow that even further. It provides quality education to the masses. There's so much bad stuff out there, as we all know. And I feel like one of the things that many aversive trainers have up on us is that they're all about their advertising game. So they're really good at it. So why don't we get a little bit better at it too and start showing off our skills in addition? Okay. And then we have content. So content levels. Let me stop there for a second. And in fact, go back here to the benefits page and stop and ask some questions here to see what everybody is feeling or thinking about the benefits portion here. Does any of this that I have talked about sound kind of scary to you guys? I know it certainly was for me. Anybody who's done it, have they found parts of it that they really liked and other parts that they didn't like so much? All right, I'm not getting much feedback, and that's okay. That's part of the live, man. All right, so we'll go on then. I can always come back to answer more of these questions as we're going along. And I hope that my slides are clear because they're not when I'm looking over here at my iPad, and I'm not trying to look at my iPad here much. Okay, content levels. So I suggest starting with what you're comfortable with. Find a topic that you know and you know well so that you can feel confident in that when you're presenting it. The other option is open question and answer. And this is where I started, which I don't know, it was a little bit intimidating at first because that was definitely you had no idea what you were going to get with regards to coming into that. It was kind of blind. I did, as part of what I did do was to try and solicit a few questions ahead of time. If I didn't get questions ahead of time, I would pick out something, say, that seemed to be a repeating theme with a lot of my clients, and I would bring that up. And then hopefully engaging with them, audience that are watching, and then getting them to comment back and forth. Guests. That is something I went to quite quickly. But that is also an option. To have guests, you have to have a little bit more skill-wise going back and forth. It takes some practice and prepping your guest also, so that people, when they tune in, they're not just standing there listening and watching two people that aren't talking about much of anything. But these are different levels and that you can think about. And I'm sure there are many more. I'm just thinking about the types of topics that we as dog trainers and behavior consultants can bring to our potential clients and to the Facebook masses out there. Okay, any questions before I go on to the engagement? Any questions about content? I'm not seeing any questions yet. And again, if there are questions there and I'm missing them, because I'm not used to Facebook Live, I apologize. Okay, so I'm just going to trudge on. So engagement and pointers and considerations you guys want to think about. So number one is engaging the audience. Engaging your audience is more than just a like. That's not enough. Maybe it is for us. We get thumbs up when we like it to know that people are here. But what Facebook algorithms want is they want to see people commenting and engaging with you in that manner. That is what is going to get you more directions, pointed arrows, beep, beep, big Facebook arrows pointed towards your video or your lives when they're going on to have people tune in. So think of when you're trying to engage your audience, don't think of just, give me a like sort of thing. Say things to get them engaged. So like I've done things like, what's your dog's nickname? One of my mentors that I watch all the time to help think of ways to do engagement, because she's fabulous at it, is she's always asking like, where is everybody from? Is your dog with you? What are you and your dog doing right now? Really think about your audience who are dog lovers, or for that matter, if you're working with other species, talking about that, get them engaging what they love and what you're there to talk about. So engagement is really important. Fill the delays when waiting for replies. So I think that is one of the more difficult things to get used to, as well as talking to yourself. So right now I am looking at a camera lens and talking to myself, and yes, I have a slide up so you can't see me at the moment, but you will be talking a lot where it's just you. So getting used to the delays, that when somebody goes to comment on something, you have to fill that rather than just sitting there. So getting comfortable with that and being able to continue on is important. The recording. So the recording is just as important as your live. And in fact, I have found that I've personally gotten a bit more engagement and arrows pointing back to me by people viewing the recordings. What's also nice about those recordings to help you push even more engagement is that if you are doing things like, for example, topic-based, I do separation anxiety. So I ran a part 1 and a part 2 of a series for going back to work to help walk through people, to explain what separation anxiety is, what to look for, how to do a self-assessment. So if I have people who are reaching out to me that are unable to work with me directly and or to need to save some money, this can help get them started, right? So this can save them hiring me just to do the assessment with them. They can do it solo. So I can point people to my videos to say, hey, here's my video on how to do it if you need a little bit more of a cost saving process. Okay, gear. So this is a big one. This is, I think, what a lot of people are worried about is what are they going to have to invest in for gear. Now, as you can see here, I've got kind of a fancy camera, but this is not where you have to start out. And in fact, before anything else, prioritize your audio. If your audience cannot hear you, they're going to turn off. So they have to at first be able to hear you. The next is making sure that you have a wired connection. Now this is really important, and this is why you will get people dropping off during the middle of sessions many times, not always, but many times, is that wired connection. And upload speed is king. Download speed, it has its place with things, but live stream video, it's all about upload speed. So having a direct wired connection is going to help you increase that upload speed. Now, if you actually do an upload speed test on your computer, you're going to be pretty shocked at the difference between download speed and upload speed. And that is because the vast majority of cable companies, audiences want download. They want to stream Netflix. They want to stream Amazon Prime. They want to stream all of these things. It's not about upload. And it's really tough to find cost competitive options for cable that have good upload speed. It's quite expensive to get into the higher upload speed. So for me, when I am doing live sessions, I need to have just about everything shut down on my computer possible. Like for right now, I've got the Facebook page open in my browser with Chrome, and that's pretty taxing on my computer. Usually when I'm doing this, I only have to hit go live on my live streaming software program, and I don't have to have anything open. And it also helps to have a smoother stream. So wired connection, do not rely on Wi-Fi. That is too fluctuating, too all over the place, and you could very easily drop mid broadcast. Okay, camera. Okay, so I've got a couple different cameras set up that I'm going to show everybody. Okay, so first we're going to go to this one. So this one is my Sony a6400 with a 16 millimeter Sigma 1.4. This is pretty far up there. It's not like, oh, you can still get way awesomer than my camera, but it is also what is called a mirrorless camera. Now, here is what I started with. This is the embedded camera in my laptop. It's pretty icky, right? It's crazy how horrible these are, especially considering how expensive our laptops are. I do not have an example of a webcam that you can plug into a USB. I did not invest in any of those. But here is something that is, from all of the research I have done and watched reviews of, better than this and better than a little like Logitech webcam that you would stick on top. And that is your phone. Your phone has an amazing camera in it. It is insane how advanced our phones are these days. You cannot directly plug your phone in to your laptop. You have to have a little app. And that app, what that does is it helps to process that raw video and then make it so that your computer can read it. But the apps are inexpensive. The one that I'm using is I think about $14, and it is called NDHX, And I like this one a lot. This one's really easy to control, has lots of little features where I could adjust the brightness, zoom. Then there's another one that I've tried out that I also like, but not as much as this one because it doesn't have as much control. It's called Epoch Cam, and I believe that was $5.99. So you've got options, and this, the phone is way better than this, isn't it? It's just huge. What a change something like that could be with what I'm sure you guys have all got right now. Your phone, check out how easy it is to download and upload it and use that as your live camera option. Okay. So back to that. Okay. So any questions about the options with cameras? This is where, when I did this presentation before, I had a lot of different questions. And why I went for the big guns personally, why did I go with a mirrorless camera, which is more expensive than my camera? For me personally was because my phone at the time was dying, almost dead. The phone that you guys saw the image of is a new phone that I got later after my phone did die. Another reason is that I do have a background in photography. So I already had a digital SLR. It didn't have the capability, of course, to be able to stream HTML to my computer, so that wasn't an option. So I had to purchase a new camera, and I went with a mirrorless. And the mirrorless is just like a digital SLR, except it doesn't have the reflex, the little mirror that moves up and away in order to take pictures and video. So it is able to have a smaller body on it. So that's what I went with instead of a DSLR, but you can also use a DSLR. And you'd be surprised, some of you guys may have some DSLRs at home, like point and shoot, because they're fairly simple cameras that many people have these days. I used to work at a camera store when they first came out a very, very long time ago. And when I needed to get a new camera, I called my old boss, Dave. Dave helped me out. So, all right. So I don't see any questions. So I will just move on. Okay, lighting and background. So this is also important. You need to, your people need to be able to see you. And as you saw just a little bit earlier there, I have glasses, so that makes it even more fun. But there are tips and tricks about lighting positions, what to use, how to use it, diffusers and things like that that you can learn. And as far as background goes, I really suggest simplifying it. Now, I know that can be hard. The space that I'm personally working in, my office, is very small, but I only have to keep the little spot that people can see behind me clear and uncluttered. So I've got that. The rest of my office can be all crazy town and nobody's going to see it, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so here is my a really good little quick thing that you can do today for many of you, maybe not all of you, but many of you, that is going to elevate your presentations and your live streams and your sessions with your clients if you guys are working on Zoom, is just changing the angle of that camera. So instead of looking down into your laptop, an option would be, like the one to the right, would be using a tripod on your phone. Boom, that's going to be 100 times better than just your laptop. Even just if you're like, okay, my phone is cruddy, I don't have a tripod. Even if you bring up your laptop So you're not looking down it and people aren't looking up your nose. Bring it so that it's further up. There's little stands that you can get that can lift it up a bit and make it actually a little bit nicer and more ergonomic on you when you're typing, which is also nice. So there are options out there, little things that you can do like today or even tomorrow to help to start creating a higher quality visual image for your clients. Okay, so if this is something that you guys are interested in and you're like, okay, cool, I want to start maybe trying to do some more live stuff. I want to go live. Where do I start? So just like for our clients, when we are creating training plans, we want to be creating a plan for ourselves too. So define exactly what you want. Obviously, this can change, but start out with what are your short-term goals? What do you feel that would be good for you to get out of this? And what do you think would be good for your clients or your potential clients to get out of this? Then you can think long-term goals. Where do you want to take this? There's many different options here with this. Okay, so then you've got your training plan for yourself all ready to go. You've collected the stuff that you've got. Now you're ready to go. You're like, okay, I can do this. I'm ready to start trying to do this whole live thing. It's scary, but let's do it. So create a closed Facebook test group. And then you can invite your friends or your family members to this group so that they can come and watch when you go live. I wrangled my mother and my brother and my training associate, and they helped me to figure out things like my background, what was weird, what was sticking out of my head, what was, how was my sound. They also helped me to figure out the delay because, as I said earlier, it's super awkward. So I wanted to know, okay, exactly how long is the delay? So I sat there with my phone and I used the stopwatch feature and I'd say, okay, can you hear this? And then boom. And then as soon as they could hear it, they would reply. Now that gave me the fastest somebody could potentially reply because I was asking them to, and they were willing participants. So it gave me at least that little idea of, this is the about duration it takes. But that it's also going to vary on per day, because of your internet speed does have some fluctuation to it. Despite being wired, you can still have those. So that's what I use the Facebook private group for. I've used it with just myself, just going live. It's just to practice and get used to seeing myself and then going back, or testing lighting, like I'm testing lighting behind me and moving it around and going through slides. So I absolutely love the private group that I have for testing. Okay, so I kept my presentation to about a half hour. Kind of proud of myself. If you have questions, I can help. I do have on my trainer to trainer services page, I have a light lens and camera course that goes into depth about explaining details of those 3 different elements and how you can put them to work it's a webinar plus a mini course. So I'm there to support people along the way as they're making changes. Of course, I'm not an expert at every single tool out there and every single light or lens or anything like that. So I always give the disclaimer that I'm good at what I have put to use myself and feel proficient in. So if anybody's not sure, and if I can help you or not, you can just shoot me an email asking. Okay, so I'm opening questions to see if there is any questions here. All right, so Vanessa, are you going live presenting through Facebook right now or through a streaming platform? I am going through, I had to start it in Facebook, but I'm using my streaming platform, which I'd never done before. It's it's complicated because I had to schedule the event in a group that I'm not an admin of. But in my own groups, my own pages, I can schedule that all in my live streaming platform. And then I have more capabilities of things that I can do. Like when people are commenting, like if you watch any of my live streams that I have done that I recorded on my page, you see I can literally pull them over because of the software that I have. So I could have pulled up yours and had it at the bottom so everybody could see it and I can read it. There's all kinds of the way that I use for clients. I also really love the streaming platform that I use because, for lives, because I can call up a whole list of videos. So I could very easily just have a little log of videos that I want to be able to show them, and I can just, by a touch of a button, boom, then it's there. So I really, really like this program. This program is called Ecamm. The thing with Ecamm though is it's only made for Mac. So if you have a PC, the other streaming platforms that I have heard good feedback about is StreamYard, I believe is one of them. There's one with like a duck logo. I can't remember. OBS. And I think OBS is a fairly inexpensive one, but it's a little bit more on the complicated side as far as setup. Ecamm is super simple. I love it. So that's what I like to use. And when I'm not going live with onto Facebook with guests, I still use Ecamm for. I can use it as it's called a virtual cam, where I can have it pull up for Zoom. So I can do that all through Zoom too. So, does anybody feel inspired? I'll be excited to hear if anybody makes a few of those simple changes and get excited and want to do more. Because I feel that as a community, we should be getting out there and giving more information. And the more confident that we can feel in the way that we look and present ourselves, I think the more of us that are going to be putting information out there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop. But if anybody has any more questions, obviously just leave them in the comments section of the live, the recording of the live, and I'd be happy to answer them. All right, well, thank you everybody for joining, and everybody have a good evening. Thank you.